Ugh. Too many shoes. Too many shoes. Hello mountain bikers! Things have been pretty crazy in the industry lately, especially if we're talking about shoes. At times, it seemed like hardly a day will go by without somebody launching some new riding footwear, to the point that it could be hard to figure out what's what. But fear not, we're here to help you make sense of it all. So if you want to know just how all these new riding shoes stack up against each other, don't go anywhere. We're going to be focusing mainly on shoes that were launched in the past 12 months, with some exceptions. Also, we're talking mostly about flat pedal shoes, although we'll address clipless variants where we have relevant experience. Our goal here today is to briefly present the shoes and let you know how they compare. We'll be mainly concentrating on fit and grip when ranking the shoes, so you'll need to keep in mind that your mileage may vary as far as the shape of your foot goes. For information, our main tester's foot is a size 12 US or 46 in Europe, average to narrow in shape. Okay then, let's dive in. Any serious flat pedal shoe comparison has to start with 510's Freerider Pro. Ever since it first appeared on the market some 4 years ago now, it's been our reference go-to shoe for pretty much all kinds of riding. It manages to take pretty much everything that was ever good about their previous models and combine it all into one shoe. In terms of grip, the Stealth S1 sole is very hard to beat, delivering instant grip and faultless connection with your pedals and pins in any conditions. The shoe also offers a great combination of stiffness and comfort, making it the ideal choice for anything from trail to park riding. Only the longevity of the sole remains as somewhat of a dark cloud on the horizon for some riders, but we still feel that this is a trade-off worth making for you to give yourself the very best chance of keeping your feet on the pedals at all times. There's now a new version made from recycled ocean plastic that does a little something for the environment too. The big shoe event of 2020 was undoubtedly the launch of the specialized 2FO Roost shoe. This is the third generation of the 2FO shoe, which more importantly heralds the arrival of the super tacky or ST version of the specialized slipknot rubber. Just when we had resigned ourselves to accepting that perhaps 510's stealth rubber was really going to rule unchallenged forever, Specialized finally delivered its equal. Yes, that's right, we said equal. Slipknot ST is every bit as tacky and confidence-inspiring as Stealth. The shoe also boasts a number of performance features, including a shank that is just the right amount of stiff, and Specialized's body geometry design with clever-sounding stuff like metatarsal buttons and varus wedges. What you need to know is that the shoe works great on the trail and will provide a good fit for average to wide feet. The 2FO Roost was followed a bit later by the 2FO DH shoe, a beefed-up version that offers more protection and a slightly stiffer feel on the pedals. Both are serious contenders to the flat pedal shoe crown and well worthy of a spot on your shortlist as you consider your next purchase. When we published our last major shoe roundup in 2018, Ride Concepts was yet to launch their very first model. Since that time, this young company from Reno, Nevada has come a long way, with an impressive catalogue that includes a number of both flat pedal and clipless shoes for men and women alike. Earlier this year, they introduced two new models that, among other improvements, featured an evolution of the company's DST 4.0 Max grip rubber, and that has finally landed them right up near the top of the grip table. While still not quite as sticky as 510 Stealth and Specialized Slipknot ST, this new and improved formula comes pretty damn close. So close that we would not hesitate to pick any of these three compounds for any conditions. As for the shoe construction and features, Ride Concepts is certainly one of the heavyweights in the ring. 3DO for protection and shock absorption, gusseted tongue, antibacterial lining, the feature list goes on and on. On the bike, the new Hellion Elite and TNT offer awesome comfort and great power transfer. Go for the Hellion Elite if a lot of your riding is pedal powered, or opt for the TNT for park riding and heavy days out. They will both fit a fairly wide range of foot types. One of the more well-known companies in road cycling, Fizik, has decided to become more serious about their mountain bike shoes. Specifically, we're talking about the all-new Gravita range that launched recently, aiming to provide both clipless and flat pedal riders with some new options for their gravity riding needs. On the flat pedal side, both the Tensor and Versor make use of Vibrams Mega Grip sole, which falls a bit short of the class leaders but still offers more than enough grip for pretty much any kind of riding. The shoes themselves are well put together, with a design that is a clear departure from the classic skate-inspired look we are so used to seeing, especially as far as flat pedal shoes are concerned. Ripstop fabric uppers with extra TPU protection and a raised inner cuff on the Tensor. The Tensor also gets extra support in the form of a Velcro strap to help you really sink it down around the foot. On the trail, we like the fit and the overall light feel of these shoes. They are a lot less bulky than most others, and that translates on the trail. The trade-off here might be protection, although it's possible that we're being a bit too subjective here. We also would really have wanted to see a shank used on the flat pedal shoes. The soles are very soft, which becomes tiring on longer rides. Good for pedal feel and probably also helpful for generating grip, but we think something a little stiffer would have made sense for this category of shoe. As for the clipless versions, we've been very impressed with the performance of the simpler Verser so far. The cleat pocket is long and will allow plenty of room to run your cleats more towards the center of the shoe if you so desire, which is of course commonplace for gravity riding. The offset lacing may look a bit surprising at first, but it works well and seems to be at least as comfortable as traditional laces. The uppers are very smooth inside with no discernible hotspots. The insole does lack a bit of arch support, and the shoe is a bit flat in general, something to take into account if your foot type typically demands more support in this area. But overall, we're very happy with the Verser clipless for enduro riding and racing. Leatt has jumped headfirst into the mountain bike shoe game with a fairly extensive selection of both clipless and flat pedal shoes, making it one of the few companies that can actually equip a rider from head to toe. Diving into the details, it becomes apparent that Leatt did not cut any corners in the development process. The list of features is long and includes items like an anti-compression midsole for support, a carbon-infused antibacterial insole, compression laces that are non-elastic for a better and more consistent fit, and an anti-heel lift rear part to help keep your foot planted in the shoe at all times. Additionally, the higher level 3.0 flat and 4.0 5.0 clipless shoes get a waterproof and breathable membrane and a raised internal collar to help protect your ankles. On the trail, the shoes are sturdy. Even the more casual 2.0 offers a reassuring amount of protection thanks to fairly thick and strong materials used for the uppers. Despite the sturdiness, the shoes are also very comfortable. There is ample padding around the top opening, and the tongue is thick and plush. The sizing is very consistent with standard market shoe sizing, so no surprises there either. When it comes to flat pedal performance, Leatt's recessed waffle pattern generates plenty of mechanical grip, while the rubber compound itself is less sticky than the top three, 510, Specialized and Ride concepts. We really like the general construction and feel of Leatt's flat pedal shoes, but they will need a little more work on the sole compound to move right back into the grip conversation as well. After years of watching their own athletes, as well as other riders, carry out all kinds of modifications to their shoes to work better with their pedals, Crankbrothers wanted an opportunity to really design a shoe around the pedal. 2020 saw them launch the Stamp and Mallet families of shoes for flat pedal and clipless riders, respectively. The Mallet is the clipless family, made to match with the Mallet pedals, of course. There are two main lines of product, the Mallet and Mallet E, the latter being intended for enduro and adventure use and not specific to e-biking as you might have otherwise suspected. Each model exists in 3 different variants, one equipped with the BOA lacing system and 2 that feature laces. We've been getting on really well with the Mallet E, which we found a bit more supportive than the regular Mallet. The shoe is super comfortable and the power transfer is great, even with just the simpler lace version. The cleat pocket is long and super easy to get back into after unclipping, something we really appreciate when the action heats up. The regular Mallet features a race zone extension of the cleat rails to allow you to run the cleats even further back than usual, which is something that Crankbrothers athletes requested. We like it, but we also didn't have any trouble using the Mallet E, which does not feature the race zone. Maybe on really big hits our ankles would start complaining. The Stamp flat pedal shoe is equally comfortable, and since it lacks a shank, it also conforms more easily to the pedal shape. It is still just about stiff enough for full days out on the pedals, while retaining a lot of pedal feel underfoot. As for the rubber, the grip delivered by the Stamp is good, but not quite on par with the class leaders. The Stamp works very well when you have good pressure between the shoe and the pedal, but it does not provide the same level of surface grip as the top 3 in the category. This aspect manifests itself when you get a bit sloppy with your footwork, for example at the top of the pedal stroke when pedaling over rough terrain, or if your foot becomes unweighted for one reason or the other on gnarlier trails. This also makes the Stamp a bit more sensitive to muddy conditions. Back to Specialized for something a little different. The Rime, a shoe for those who like to hike almost as much as they like to bike. The Rime combines classic hiking shoe aesthetics and features with a bike-specific shank and Specialized's awesome Slipknot ST sole, which here has been given deeper lugs in the toe and heel area to help with grip when hiking on rough terrain. We found the Rime very comfortable and fit for purpose, working just as well for hiking as it does for biking. On the ground, the compliance in the toe area helps the shoe conform to the terrain, while the incredibly grippy sole and shank combine to provide all the performance you could ask for on the pedals. The Rime certainly does not look like a mountain bike shoe, but it absolutely performs as one, and the added hikeability will make it a valid choice for those who like to spend as much time on 2 feet as they do on 2 wheels. On the topic of these hybrid shoes, imagine your favorite running shoes, but with stealth rubber and a midsole shank for pedaling support. That's the Trailcross from 510 and Adidas. The Trailcross exists both in a low and high top version, the latter gaining an integrated gaiter to help keep debris out, as well as D3O padding around the ankles. The shoes are significantly lighter than classic 510 bike shoes, and they have been designed to not take on much water and to dry out quickly if you should happen to dunk them in the drink. On the trail, the first thing we noticed is that hiking around in technical terrain is much more comfortable with the Trailcross than with the bike-specific models in 510's range. The extra flex in the toe area and the lightweight flexible construction help the shoe conform to the ground, and they also breathe a lot better than, say, a pair of Freerider Pros. Not that we know all that much about running, but what little testing we did do points to a comfortable experience. On the bike, it's a tale of two shoes. The Phantom Stealth sole is as sticky as you'd expect from 510s, and the midsole shank does a great job of providing support on the pedals. The top of the shoe is a lot more flexible than most skate-style bike shoes, however, and that can translate to a certain vagueness or a feeling of being a bit more exposed to the elements. The thin uppers will not provide much protection if you crash and stick your foot where it shouldn't go, although the reinforced toe box will help. Note that the Trailcross runs a bit big, so you can probably consider sizing down. Looking back at some shoes that we've previously tested here at Vital, a couple of them still stand out. Let's see how they fit in among the newcomers. Bontrager's Flatline shoe took a well-deserved second place in our 2018 shootout, helped by good grip and a high overall level of comfort. Today, it still holds its own, although it's been leapfrogged by both the new Specialized shoes and the new Hellion Elite and TNT from Ride Concepts. The grip of the Flatline is still very good, just not quite as sticky as those placed above it. We also want to talk about Shimano's GR7 flat pedal shoe, in particular the Michelin outsole. We found it to be very grippy and confidence-inspiring in action, while the overall construction of the shoe and the protective features left something to be desired. With a rubber compound that can hold its own, we'd love to see Shimano put a little bit more into the rest of the shoe to give the other players a run for their money. Okay then, time to sum it all up. With so many new shoes launched over the past year, we now have a pair of standouts when it comes to flat pedal grip: 510 and Specialized. With the recent updates to the Hellion Elite and the TNT, Ride Concepts is hot on their heels, just a hair shy of best-in-class grip, but with convincing features and super comfortable shoes, they are well worthy of the third step on the podium. Leatt, Fizik and Crankbrothers have all managed to produce viable alternatives as well, each with their own unique take on what a mountain bike shoe should be. And although these are all a bit less grippy on the pedals, we're excited by the innovative features and materials that they bring to the game. We're equally excited to see several of these players launch new clipless models, and while we've not been able to really test all the options out there today, both Fizik and Crankbrothers have delivered great options in our book. It's a good time to be a mountain biker. Alright then, that's the end of this feature. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, happy trails!